Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 44 of A Wild Podcast has appeared, the official Pokemon podcast of Comicbook.com.
Interesting terminology.
I am one of your hosts, Jim Viscardi, and I am joined by Megan Peters and Christian Hoffer. We're back.
Hello.
We're not yet in quarantine.
Backstreet's back. All right.
We went two very different directions there, Jim.
Yeah.
You went 90s boy bands, and I went coronavirus. So.
I think that speaks to the fundamental dynamic of our podcast.
I mean, you're not wrong.
If you are new to this show and are a giant Pokemon fan, even if you're a moderate Pokemon fan, this is the show for you. If you're a moderate fan, this is going to make you an even bigger fan. If you're already a huge Pokemon fan, this is going to turn you into a Pokemon fanatic.
And if you're not a fan at all, you'll still learn some stuff about life.
Sure. Yes. That's very true.
Sure.
There are a lot of life lessons here. That's very true.
Yes.
Such as
something
how to
for
pronounce
everyone.
Gibraltar.
Man, listening to last week's podcast, if y'all have not listened to it, please just go back. Even if you only listened to like the last 20 minutes, it was absolutely hilarious. I listened to it with my boyfriend, and like we were legitimately like wheezing and laughing.
I was just in the car, and I was just reliving that moment, and it was
So,
perfect.
terrifying side note about that. So, when I was recording that, my wife had actually gotten home and she was in the next room. And so when I get out, she immediately confronts me and she's like, "Really, Christian? Gilbatrar?" I was like, "I know, it was a script." She's like, "You are aware that your office is painted in Gibraltar gray." I was like, "Oh, God, I'm never living this down."
Literally never. Literally never.
Anyway, we cover all of the Pokemon things. Pokemon Go, the console games, the trading card games. We cover the anime, the manga. We cover the Pokemon stuff. You name it, we're covering it here on this show. It's broken up into 3 parts. We do headlines in the first half. We do a deep dive in the second. And then at the very end, fan favorite segment of the week, Pokemon Facts. To make you a better, smarter Pokemon fan.
Yes.
Ready to get into it?
Yeah,
Always.
I don't want to spend too much time on this because we spent more than enough time on it last week, but more Pokemon events have been canceled due to the fears of the coronavirus. The European International Championship is canceled, and the Safari Zone in St. Louis is canceled. And then on a larger gaming note, E3 has also been canceled.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories on the E3 front that it was going to be canceled anyway because it's a terrible show, but
I mean,
you know.
I mean, wasn't like Xbox the only people that are showing up this year?
Yeah, like
anyway,
everyone
so
had pulled out of it, so
Nintendo
now
was
they had an
done.
excuse, and they're out. So
Yeah.
there you go. As you can see, coronavirus canceling Pokemon events.
the St. Louis thing was pretty surprising. I'll be honest. Now, I'll make a note. It is delayed, so it's not technically canceled. And while they're offering refunds, if you keep your ticket to the event, you can still get the benefits of as if you were going to the Safari Zone event. So they're basically going to like set it up so anyone who has a ticket tied to their account, the Pokemon that we're going to spawn will now just spawn in your neighborhood.
Oh, that is a very good
cool.
thing. I did not know
Yeah.
that.
What if you were traveling to the event?
It'll still be so it's going to just be tied. I mean, they can't refund plane tickets or anything
No,
like that.
no, but I mean, like, is it geo? Like, do you have to be?
No,
in
it's
St.
not
Louis?
geo-locked.
Okay.
So, like, me in Columbus, Ohio, if I were planning on going to St. Louis for this event, I can now get all the Pokemon that I was going to get here in Columbus, Ohio.
But tickets are already sold out, so don't bother trying to get tickets.
Yeah, tickets are still available for the Philadelphia Safari Zone, which has not yet been canceled.
Oh, but if it does,
When is it? We can
Yeah,
kind of guess.
Safari
I think
Zone
it's like May or
Pokemon?
June.
Oh, it's getting canceled.
Come on, don't say that. I got conventions I'm planning on going to in June.
Same, dude.
Yeah, I know.
So one of the things that we meant to talk about last week, but did not talk about this week, we meant to talk about it last week. We didn't.
There we go.
And so we're going to talk about it this week, is Google for leading up to Pokemon Day had a poll. It says pick the top Pokemon ever.
Yeah.
and they put out a top 10 list. Christian, do you have it handy?
I'll basically
Yes.
tell you this.
While you pull it up,
I'll basically tell you.
I will
So you think.
explain. I will explain what this list is comprised of. A lot of surprises, actually. I will say
This was because. Go ahead. Yeah.
the top
go.
the top couple were not really surprises, but there were way more surprises, I would say, from 4 to 10 than I think we anticipated.
So let's keep this in mind. The voting system was flawed. So they divided it. You could vote for one Pokemon per generation.
Yeah.
Now everyone's favorite Pokemon, the majority. Let's just be real here. Comes in those first 150. Lot of like fierce competition in that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were other generations, like barely any competition, which leads us to our top Pokemon of the year, Greninja. Greninja, great Pokemon, no competition whatsoever.
And you just
Gen
went straight
6.
to number 1. Didn't even like start from 10.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't
even-
Jim Viscardi this.
Why did I? I mean, why
number
bother
10.
listening at this point? They already know. Might as well just move
let
on.
me tease it out. We're going to blind this for social media. Number 10 was Gengar.
Which I was I was very happy about because I love Gengar.
Yeah, that number 9 was Gardevoir.
That one surprised me.
I
really
mean,
like Gardevoir.
have you?
But do
go
you
ahead.
love Gardevoir enough to put her in a top 10 list?
Yes.
Hey, Jim. Go ahead and type out Gardevoir fan art on Google.
Well,
for
I mean,
me.
yeah, it's
Oh,
true. I
don't.
do know there
Don't
is.
do that.
I mean, I
Don't
know
do
there's quite a bit, but like, come on, Pokemon fans, we can be better.
Number 8 was Rayquaza. Not really a
Yes.
surprise there.
Surprising at how low he was.
I'm surprised he
I
even
thought
made
he was
the
going to
top
break.
10.
I thought he was going to break the top 5
Oh,
He
no.
was the only legendary Pokemon to make the top 10
because
list.
he's the coolest.
He is the coolest.
Space
Garchomp.
Rayquaza. That one surprised me, I'll admit.
Well, again, it's because not
yeah.
a ton of competition in that Gen 4.
Yeah, but Garchomp, really?
Number 6 is Sylveon.
Yes. Get him in there.
Again, it's because, the only 2 Pokemon in Gen 6 that anyone ever remembers are Greninja and Sylveon. Number 5 is Umbreon, which, that's the Gen 2. 4 is Charizard, 3 is Mimikyu, 2 is Lucario, and 1 is Greninja.
I'll be honest, I was surprised Lucario did rank so highly. I was
Yeah,
also surprised that none of, I know Charizard obviously made it because it's Pokemon. And even if it hadn't made the top 10, Pokemon would have put it in the top 10 to say,
So-
here it is. I'm just surprised, other starters weren't really on the list. Were they available to vote for?
Yeah,
that's
they
what I
were
thought.
available to vote for. So, in terms of our favorite Pokemon, Bulbasaur came in 13th place overall.
Not bad.
Vaporeon was in, I think the top 30.
Yeah, it was
I thi- it was-
27 or something.
Yeah, and Geodude wasn't even mentioned. Didn't place. Neither did Graveler. Neither did Golem. I'm pretty sure it, probably received negative votes.
Wow.
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 That's really.
That's
not
upsetting.
nice.
I'm sorry, Jim. That's rip.
Anyway, that's the top 10 list. If you voted and your Pokemon didn't make the list, why don't you let us know who you voted for? And
You can commiserate with Jim.
yeah, oh wow.
Yeah.
Look, Gengar made the top 10. I'm totally okay with that.
Jim,
none
you
of-
can't have 50 billion
I
favorites.
have 2 favorites.
You can have
Two
as many favorites as you want.
Gengar and Geodude are my 2 favorites.
We used to have a coworker at Comicbook.com who had 15 favorite sports teams in every league. So when it came to playoff time, he always had one of his many favorites in the Super Bowl. It's oh yeah, I'm a huge Pittsburgh Steeler and / New England Patriots / half the league. It was the dumbest thing. That is you with your favorite Pokemon.
No,
You cannot
I have
claim
2
Gengar
favorite
if you're
Pokemon that is
running
very
around.
clearly, if you listen to any episodes of this show, Geodude is obviously my number 1. I love my Geodude. Gengar's my number 2.
Where does Kingler rank?
Kingler is in the top 5, probably 5.
Gotcha.
I do love Kingler, but Kingler's probably 5.
Yeah, I agree. You can have multiple favorites because, like, Vaporeon's my number one, but my second place is tied between the rest of the evolutions. Number one is Vaporeon, and two is the rest of them. And then we get to third place. So,
all right. Well, moving on. The Zarude news and rollout continues as we get closer and closer to Coco. The Pokemon Company announced that we are getting a shiny Celebi as well.
I'm actually excited. It's pretty cute.
As
that's
Zarude
pretty awesome.
distribution. Christian, why don't you tell us a bit more about that?
So right now it's only been announced in Japan. So if you pre-order your ticket in Japan, you will get shiny Celebi starting on, I believe, April 15th, and then Zarude on June 15th. Now, everyone else will eventually get those two Pokemon. Shiny Celebi has never been distributed before. In fact, it wasn't even available until like 2 years ago when Pokemon Crystal came out for the Virtual Console. So, that's a Pokemon that literally next to no one has. So that's pretty awesome. But the other big thing that kind of comes out of this is with Zarude, that means it is very, very likely that we will get our Isle of Armor DLC before June 15th. Because Zarude's not currently in Pokemon Sword and Shield, and it makes a lot of sense that they'll just release the next update for the DLC content and stick Zarude in there. So everyone can look forward to that.
I'm so ready. I've got it pre-purchased. I'm ready to go. I'm just waiting.
Me too.
Just waiting.
So, but does that mean you're going to be able to, I guess, also catch Zarude in the game?
No, probably not. I mean, it's a mythical Pokemon, so those are like never available to actually catch in game.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like in the history of mythical Pokemon, we've had two that you've actually been able to like truly catch.
Yeah.
So probably it'll be just given via mystery gift.
Okay.
But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe they'll change things up. I mean, people have been clamoring for like actual events around like mythical Pokemon for a while. I mean, they used to do it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been that way for a while. But yeah, it won't be like readily available in game. Let me put it that way.
Fair enough.
Gotcha.
Also on the Sword and Shield front, the Orbeetle, like the last Gigantamax event is over. There was a lot of Pokemon in that event.
There were so
There was
many.
a ton of them.
There were so many. I would forget the list, and then I would run to another raid, and I'd be like, "Where did you come from?"
I will say I got to give a shout out to a fan of ours who listened to the show, heard actually there were a few that reached out, but this fan got to me first, and was not only able to give me a Gigantamax Kingler, but a shiny Kingler,
Yeah.
Dang.
which was super cool. Super cool. Dude's a huge fan of the show, and and it's like the way he described how he loved this show, like I got a little emotional about, not being glib about it. It was just I love doing this show with the two of you guys. I think it's
Yeah.
great. It's a highlight of my week. It's fantastic. But to know that what I feel about the show is also felt that way to our listeners is great. So thank you.
Yeah.
It's just nice to know that someone actually listens to our show.
I've had a couple people.
That we just don't put this out into the void.
Yeah. I've had a couple people like DM me, and they're like, "Do you want to trade?" And I'm like, "Let's go." And it's usually at like midnight or 2 a.m. And I feel like it's like an illicit, like illegal thing where I'm like, "You on? What's the link code?" It's like the most, like the DMs are so short. But then like inevitably, I've gotten like several evolutions. I finally was gone a Vaporeon the other day from a fan of ours, but I always end up like, if I know I have a trade, I will like grind beforehand and I'll trade them like a level 60 Pokemon. And then they message me on Twitter and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, there you go. So trade with me, man.
Meanwhile, when people contact me on Twitter, it's like, "Hey, you forgot Shaman,"
So anyway, so those raids are all over, and now we will finally get a better spawn rate for if you're a sword player, Machamp, and if you're a shield player, Gengar. Yeah. Two that I do
yes
not
and
have.
no. both of those Pokemon are actually available in both games.
Right.
However, the 5-star Machamp is only available in Sword, and the 5-star Gengar is only available in Shield.
I mean, why else would you want anything but a 5-star?
To have it in your collection. You can always
Yeah.
hyper train the things.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, but I mean,
Jim likes to make things harder on himself. So. Life
I
stories.
just like to start ahead. This is good. I don't have either of them, so I'm hoping to get both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This time around. So
I have Gengar,
As-
but I do want a 5-star Gengar. So
see?
I understand.
See? Now you like
Yeah,
why-
as soon as I finish up Mystery Dungeon, or get to a point where I can actually write the review, I'm hopping in and I am getting those raids done.
I haven't got Mystery Dungeon yet because I'm saving up for Animal Crossing. But like, I don't say anything. Don't spoil anything. It looks so cute. I can't even handle it.
It is very cute. I will say that. We'll do a review next week
Gotcha.
because I'm still like in the thick of things. So
on the gear front, Funko's latest of the Eevee line is for Vaporeon, and it is adorable.
I just need everyone to
Yeah.
get quiet for a moment. This is my time. Funko, if you're listening
Tell
to
us how
me.
you feel about this.
Funko, if you're listening to me. For those who don't know, I'm currently in the process of purchasing a house, so I do not have any additional money to spend on anything. Please send me this figure. I want it so much. I've literally been telling everyone I know, if you want to get me a housewarming gift, give me this Vaporeon.
you are going to end up with like 50 of these things.
I don't think that's happening so far. I've not gotten any. Please, Funko, please. Or else I'm going to have to like sell some stuff just in my house, unpack some stuff and unload it. Do you want
So-
this little t-shirt? Yes, I need this Vaporeon statue. It's so cute.
So as always, these are available at via the Pokemon Center, and it's the only way to get them, and they
Yep.
generally
go very quick.
I know, that's why I'm
And-
panicking.
And these shouldn't be confused for the normal like square-headed
Right.
Funko figures with the soulless eyes
Right.
and the laugh expression
Those
or
are
anything
coming.
like that. These are real like quality figures
Yeah.
that look really freaking awesome. These
Yeah.
are the sort of figures that I would buy, not like like dead-eyed chibi.
They are not
knockoffs.
pops. These are actual
Oh yeah, that's what they're
Figures.
mini.
Yeah, it's like
figures
Vaporeon
slash
in like a
statues.
summer little scene by like some water and stuff. It's super cute.
Yeah.
And also, side note, gonna go ahead and plug this to Build-A-Bear. When you come out with Vaporeon, I'm expecting to get one. Or Jim, I know you got those Build-A-Bear hookups.
I know. I will say I reached out. I already reached out to them, and they said the next one coming out, I guess, is Jolteon. So that one's and then Vaporeon. We missed out on Flareon.
That's fine.
Oh my god!
As long as it's Vaporeon.
This thing is only $14.99.
Yeah,
I
that's
know,
what-
it's
that's
super
what- that's what
affordable.
makes-
Great
that's why they go
value.
so fast.
It's
because they're
super affordable.
Super affordable. It's a great looking
Jeez.
piece.
Yeah, it's nice and small. It's not like huge. Like you
Yep.
can put it just about anywhere you want. Well made.
All right, Megan, we get it.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows what I'm
Funko has not sponsored this, but if they would like to,
If you would like to, please DM me.
editor at Comicbook.com will work something out.
I mean, I just went and bought one because it's so cheap.
They're available now.
Yeah, that's literally the story. Is available now.
I thought they were coming up.
No, they came out
Oh, okay. All right, great. Well, they're available
Yeah.
now.
because I almost broke
Yeah.
yesterday and bought one.
Finally, last headline: the Pokemon Go Battle League is back.
Yes.
And
Yeah, so this is season 1. So
Yep.
right, it launches on Friday. We will have an interview coming out about this. I actually got a chance to talk with some of the developers behind this earlier this week.
whoa.
So this is the official season 1 of the Go Battle League, with some boosted rewards. So I'll be honest, I was not a fan of like this entire Go Battle League. I was not a huge fan of PvP at the start. I didn't like the Rocket League stuff and all that stuff. I have really gotten into Go Battle League since they announced that you can get legendaries as rewards. It's like I'm never going to have to bother with the raid again. Like yes. No social interaction for me.
I mean, same here. I can't like make fun of you because I'm in the same boat.
I mean, it's great. Like the second they announced that, I literally like pulled it out and like immediately started playing.
It's like it's time. I mean, there's I can't really think of a better incentive that Niantic could do to like
Now,
get people to do this.
And they have some other cool rewards. So not only when season 1 starts, if you make rank 10, you will get a Pikachu Libre encounter.
Yes.
Also, at certain ranks, you'll also get a guaranteed Metagross encounter, and you'll get new avatar poses and items based on Steven Stone from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Which, yeah, that's pretty freaking cool. Plus, you get some a chance of encountering legendaries, and it's fun. Like, I encourage everyone to give it a shot. I have like an amazing Great League team, which I can conquer everybody, and then I suck at everything else.
I always enjoyed the PvP battles, so I was definitely excited to try out season 1. I mean, I know I'm gonna get wrecked like immediately, but like that's just how it is.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a quick break, but when we get back, we are going to talk all about the super strong Pokemon that surprise Ash has added to his roster. When we get back. All right. This has been a very good week.
Yes.
For Gengar fans.
Gengar fans are
a lot of Gengar in this episode.
I mean, all Gengar, but also sad Gengar.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true.
It's a 2-for-1 punch.
So, in the latest episode of the Pokemon anime,
yes,
Ash catches a Gengar.
You having, guys?
Yay, good for Ash.
Yes.
But good Lord, who wants to walk through the Gengar backstory?
I'll take that bullet for everyone.
It's not terrifying.
I mean,
and horrible.
I mean, I'll walk through it just so everyone knows. I'll take this bullet for them.
Okay, but hold on, because what I do want to do is, so the last time we've seen a Gengar was in Sun and Moon. And the episode that was about, like, Gengar has always kind of, I mean, obviously it's a ghost, right? So it's got to have a fairly tragic backstory. Right. But the Gengar in this, in Sun and Moon, was a bit more mischievous, which is obviously a big Gengar property, but was more of a forest urban legend spirit kind of thing than what we get here.
Yeah, what you get here is almost like straight up poltergeist Gengar. Like, he's trying to fundamentally ruin your life almost in this. So basically, for those who have kept up with the new Pokemon anime that came out last year, it's the one we've talked about a lot.
Which you still can't find in the United States, by the way.
Yeah, I know. We still don't know where that's going to be. Disney XD, cough, cough, cough. But basically...
Have you just emailed someone at Disney XD yet?
I'm pretty sure I did send out comment. I think I did reach out.
Did you? And they said no comment? Okay.
I don't think I've heard back.
Right.
We should probably ask the Pokemon Company. Anyways,
side tangent.
We'll find out.
We'll find out for you. But for those who have kept up with just like the synopses of what's happened, basically a Gengar showed up in Sakura Gai Laboratories, which is kind of like the new laboratory area which Ash and his new partner go to. It's wreaking havoc everywhere. So one of the side characters, Koharu, gets rid of the Pokemon using Yamper, and we're like, okay, everything's done. False story. It came back this week, and basically the situation Ash runs into is that this Gengar is haunting him. It's cursed him. So this Gengar is literally trying to make Ash's life miserable. It's coming out of floors, walls. It's turning invisible. It's messing with Pikachu. It like flung Pikachu. And Pikachu was like, excuse me, how dare you? But you kind of understand what happens when you learn about Gengar's backstory, that it once had a trainer that it really, really loved. And the trainer just couldn't deal with Gengar, wasn't willing to deal with its attitude, and it took it to Sakura Gai Laboratories and was like, hey, just stay here for a little bit. I got to go run an errand. And Gengar is so happy because he has a trainer, and he's like, I'll wait for you. And then it's like a week later, and he's still standing in the exact same spot the trainer left him, still smiling, like he's hopeful he's going to come back. And then he goes and sits down, and he just sits there forever.
I haven't felt this bad for a Pokemon since Charmander.
Oh, absolutely.
From the very beginning. Like, holy moly. Like, it was just like...
It hurt. It was bad. And for those, I wrote an article about this, so if you haven't read it, shame on you. But if you had, you'll know what I'm about to say. If you notice in the anime, when Ash is first encountering Gengar in this episode in this laboratories, he's wearing a Charmander shirt. And so it's definitely a nice little callback to like when Ash rescued Charmander and like.
Because I didn't read the story. I'm sorry.
But
Jim.
well, hey, I just told you. I told you. You owe me a click.
Read your own site, Jim.
Yeah.
Dude, do you know how many stories we publish a day?
A lot.
So many.
So many anime, so many Pokemon between Hoffer and myself. But yeah, so he's wearing a Charmander shirt, which is a definite callback. But it ends happily. Gengar and Ash, they have some back and forth with one another. And Ash just is like, you know what? I refuse to let this Gengar suffer anymore. Like, they become friends.
Bleeding Heart Ash.
Yeah, and at the end, Ash is like standing in front of him like, can I catch you? And Gengar's just like looking at him and is like, yeah. So they wind up catching Gengar. So now Ash's team is stacked.
Ash's team is basically is becoming, my Elite Four team.
Yes, it literally is.
From Pokemon Blue. I had a Dragonite. I had a Gengar. He's just like, look. He had a Charizard at some point. Like, it's basically,
Yeah.
He's going to end up with like a Charizard, a Rhydon,
Yeah.
like Gengar, Dragonite, like Vaporeon.
He's got a Mr. Mime.
Gyarados, right?
His father's on his team, basically. Mime's there. I mean, it's truly ridiculous how strong he is. But, like, it doesn't feel forced. Because, like, he's been doing this for 20 years now. He doesn't even have to battle these Pokemon anymore to, like, catch them. He just has to, like, there's this joke in the anime community that you have to talk no jutsu from Naruto. You just have to talk at something to defeat them. And that's basically what Ash is doing. He's just talking to these Pokemon and working with them. And they're like, you know what? I choose you, Ash. Like, I love it. It's crazy. I don't know where this show goes from here. Like, I don't know.
It's going to end with like Ash going like power mad and like, just like devastating the Pokemon world with his army of like high level Pokemon, Or I do have some questions.
Okay, go ahead.
I have some very technical questions. What is the difference between this Gengar and all of the Pokemon that Ash has left behind at other professors' labs, never to see him again?
Because, like, Ash had an actual, like, farewell with those Pokemons. And, like, he's left them with somebody he knows and somebody will take care of them and trust. This Gengar was left sitting on concrete steps for roughly
he hasn't
9
literally
years.
ghosted any of these Pokemon.
Yeah, literally.
It's like, it's okay. We had an official breakup, so it's far less.
And like, and if he let like for Butterfree or something like that, when he let it go because it was joining other Butterfree and other family. Like it always had a community to support him. Yeah. Gengar was literally ghosted.
I just wanted to bring this up, just because like we still haven't seen any of Ash's like old Pokemon. Like it's been years, like 5 years since we saw Greninja.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like I mean.
So you're just waiting for that reunion, and Ash has all of his new Pokemon, and Greninja is like, "Oh, what? You didn't have room in your bag for my tiny Pokeball? Oh, great!"
It's like, wait a second, we literally have a bond. I'm a unique Greninja. I go Super Saiyan for you, dang it!
You cannot break the Super Saiyan bond. Yeah, I mean I feel like that was the biggest difference. Oh, my mic just swung. That was fun.
No.
But I mean that's the biggest difference I feel because a lot of people were talking about it, but like also. Ash genuinely cared for his Pokemon.
Because Christian said that
old trainer.
He thinks that this whole thing's going to end with a power-hungry Ash. I think it's going to be the total opposite. I think Ash is going to line up all of his Pokeballs, pop, each one open and goes, all right, go. Just leave.
Yeah.
Just go do your own thing.
Yeah.
No, he's not going to do that. What's going to end up happening is, what will really happen is, Go will go power mad because he's caught like 1,000 Pokemon so far. Never trained any of them. He's going to think he's going to be the best, and Ash is going to like give him a cold, hard dose of reality. It's like, oh, you caught like 50 billion Weedle? Hey, Dragonite, scorch him.
I feel like Hoffer's been watching too much Game of Thrones. Or in his life has watched too much of Game of Thrones.
Maybe.
Anyway, another great episode of the anime. So if you are not checking this out, please, definitely go seek it out.
Yeah. It's
a ton of fun.
It was so good. Gengar was so worth it.
All right, Chris, you want to give us the fact of the week?
Yeah, sure. So we're continuing our trek through the Pokedex, and today we come to Meowth, and it's kin. So fun fact about the Galarian Meowth, while it might not look like a normal cat, it actually is based off of a real life animal. That is Norwegian forest cat. Yes. And if you're listening to it now, Google Norwegian forest cats, because these cats are the most badass cats on the planet.
They're the most. They're huge. I mean, they're huge. They are so majestic.
Thank you. I was literally about to say.
I mean, they are like the royalty of cats. Like Jim's.
They're like Maine Coons.
Oh, but they're like Maine Coons on
better.
steroids.
And I say this, I used to own a Maine Coon. And I love that cat more than life itself. Mm-hmm. These cats are even crazier than Maine Coons.
As someone who currently has like a partial Maine Coon, I mean, I got it from the Humane Society, but it's like a Maine Coon mix. Yes, I do concur.
Yeah.
They are huge. They're so smart. I've unfortunately never gotten to meet one, but in the process of me, when I was getting cats, I kept seeing like people talking about their Maine Coons or their Norwegian forest cats, and I was like, what is the forest cat? And I looked at it and I was like, I cannot take care of you. I wish I could.
It's dog size.
I mean, it's massive. It's the size of a good sized toddler. Like,
wow.
Yeah, no, I'm very much on board with that, and it makes me love Berserker even more.
Berserker the Viking cat. And it makes sense because, Berserker is a Viking, and, where do Vikings come from? Norway and surrounding areas. That's all the, history professors that, listen to this podcast are about to, tweet at me to yell at me, no, that's not where Vikings actually come from.
But is its beard fur or is it skin?
It's fur. That's 100% fur.
Yeah, it's fur.
They even reference the fact that the fur is like steel.
Yeah, okay. Not every Pokemon is Mr.
Well, because when you look at it, it does. I mean, it doesn't really look like fur. It looks like a sack.
Take that back.
It does. It just looks like just extra skin hanging from its.
It's not like the double chin from hell. It is just nicely combed fur.
Yeah, it's a Brillo pad made of steel. So the other interesting thing about there's actually a ton of Meowth facts. It's one of the more one of the Pokemon that a lot of nuance was put into it. But the other weird thing is Alolan Persian is actually based off the British short-hair cat, which is funny because, now we're in the Galar region.
Yeah.
So
if there was ever one.
If it was ever meant to work.
My thought is that clearly the next Pokemon game will probably be set in Scandinavia because, we have the Norwegian forest cat. Who's the Galar one? So we're just going to keep bouncing from region to region.
That's it.
And Meowth will be our
Meowth is the
guide.
Indicator. Right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Absolutely.
We know where we're going. When we were talking about, briefly talking about coronavirus and all that, I almost made a terrible joke that the next Pokemon game would be in Italy and what? Never mind. I'm not even.
Aww. It would be really good. I feel like
I
Venice would make
Pokemon.
Such a good.
Oh my gosh! Right, a spaghetti Pokemon would be great. A pizza Pokemon.
A wine Pokemon.
It's just all food Pokemon.
Well, I mean, what are you gonna do? Okay, there'd be a boot Pokemon because they always say Italy looks like a boot.
Ones that are just based off of marble sculptures or.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There'd be just Statue of David, but
just a bunch of abs and
the David one is the whatever the Italian region's Mr. Mime is.
Oh
my god.
Yeah.
There would be a leaning tower of Pisa Pokemon.
Oh my gosh.
There's gonna be so many good ones they could do.
I love that we've basically
all
just hit
inanimate
all of the
objects.
Italian stereotypes. And
Yeah, we did it, guys. We did it.
or just like the Mr. Mime is just constantly doing the chef's kiss pose.
If anyone comes after this for our comments here, please send all your critiques to Jim Viscardi.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, we say this because we love it. It's a region full
Oh yeah,
of rich history.
yeah.
It is.
I went there when I studied abroad for like a week.
Pokemon.
It was great. I had like cow intestines. There could be a Pokemon based on that.
We have gone so far off topic at this point that
Wow, it's not even me this time, guys.
we might as well wrap this one up. So if you haven't, get on out there, get your Machamps, get your Gengars, because I mean you'll probably have a. Here, okay, one last thing. These events to me go on a little bit too long.
This one only goes on until the end of, until March 25th.
Oh,
so you only
okay.
have
yeah,
like
that's
2
pretty
weeks.
Okay, well for
Yeah,
two
that's
Pokemon
better.
that makes sense, but like.
Yeah.
And also they gotta stretch this out.
Well, I mean, sure, but instead of putting 12 of them in the last event, just go 2 at a time.
Put 4, 5. Right there, it was 5. Because it's Orbeal, Hatterene, Grimmsnarl. That's
Colossal,
3. Colossal, that's 4.
Alcremie.
And that's 5, yeah. So there's your 5. No, those were separate events.
Well, the Alcremie one was a separate event, but it basically overlapped the.
Yeah, but no, it's Alchemy, Colossal. No, they've been doing them in like sets of.
No, the
2 or
Magikarp
3.
one was like in.
That was
in that one
Magikarp was
too?
just Magikarp.
Yeah.
Right, I know, but didn't it overlap?
I mean, yeah, they overlap,
Yeah.
but that's
They
what
need
keeps
to stop
people coming
overlapping.
back. Like, no, that's like a marketing, like, that's so you keep coming back like every week because there's something
And then there
new.
was
But
and
if
then
you
there
didn't
was
get your
the
chance,
Mewtwo raids that you can catch Mewtwo. So what the hell was the point?
Wow.
no, you couldn't. Wow, jeez, Jim.
The hell was the point? Anyway, if you like this show, why don't you let us know? Head on over to the best way to do that is heading on over to iTunes, leave us a 5-star review, and if we read them on the air, you get a free Comicbook.com t-shirt. Boom, easy. Through the podcast that keeps on giving. Or you could just hit us up on Twitter. You can find me at Jim Viscardi.
I'm at Megan Peters CB.
And I am at Seahoffer C-Bus.
He's way more enthusiastic on Twitter than he is on this show.
Sometimes.
I promise.
Oh, if you guys follow me on Twitter, you will see the most horrible Avengers joke of all time. Our colleague Brandon Davis was who makes all sorts of terrible Avengers jokes. Like
Yours
was
today
even impressed.
was especially something else. All right. Otherwise, you can find us every Thursday wherever podcasts can be found: Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartMedia, wherever podcasts are, we're there.
Yep.
So subscribe, follow, and we will catch you next week. Talk to you later.